Colleen
Hi, thank
and
you. Andrew, let's connect about addresses and getting these delivered. So thank you.
oh, you're welcome. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
I will do that.
okay,
Thank you
great. Thank
again,
you.
Paulette. Alex,
Thank you
Amy,
for
and Colleen.
Colleen.
Yeah. I don't know if Alex is still
Welcome,
awake.
Paulette. Thank you.
I sent her a message, but she did not reply yet.
See how you are? Let me text her.
Okay.
See, Ron Smith now knows how many people to actually count. Let's see.
Hi, Colleen.
Hi, Amy. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. I'm opening up a Word document so I could take notes.
Okay. I'll just give me a few minutes to get to my sheet. Well, I feel as
Oh, I
if,
just heard from Alexandra. She says she can stick.
oh, she's sick.
Yep, she's here.
Okay. Well, can you and I do it? And then we can relay what we have to Alexandra?
Oh, she's here.
She's
right
Oh,
there.
she's here. Oh,
Mhm.
great.
It's you and me, and it looks like Roy. Are you gonna stick around? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, I have to click the mic button. Hey, I'm here now.
Okay.
Hey,
Cool.
so what's this meeting about?
So Amy found divine inspiration, and she has 3 ideas she wants to share with us.
Ideas about what?
Virtual fundraising opportunities.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm interested in that.
All right, cool.
Good.
We're ready whenever you are, Amy.
Okay. Well, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to my dream. This concept, these 3 concepts came up just like the thought of coeur de cuisine. And the number 1 concept is having art and culinary. So my thought would be it would be paired with the art gallery or museum of I belong to the mainly Mozart, which is the opera, but art, I know contacts through the fundraising that I have helped with in various organizations. And I thought that we could combine the culinary thing and say like a touch of art with a culinary adventure.
Okay.
And with that, we would go with a museum and try to get a tour of the museum while getting one of the chefs that I'm in contact with to do a culinary class.
Oh,
and in the background, have like a small string of musicians.
Oh.
So that was one idea.
Okay. So this is kind of like an online class.
Yes, it would be a Zoom class. And I was thinking of Rhapsody in the Blue and a Chocolate Fantasy.
Oh.
Or that's the next one.
Oh,
but
okay.
a touch of art with a culinary adventure.
Okay.
And then we would do, that would be art with the San Diego Museum. Then we would do music. Excite your senses with music and chocolate. Or concerto and chocolate. I know the Chihuahua who has been with our fundraiser of coeur de cuisine for many years. And when I was teaching and had classes, he gave us he has Chihuahua is the name of his chocolatier. And he gave us the tour of making truffles.
Oh, cool.
And then with that, we and he dipped things in chocolate, and I dipped, like, to complement it, I dipped grapes in the wine and strawberries.
Ooh.
And I complimented his truffles. He has a wide variety of the base of cream, and it was really exciting. And I also have the idea chocolate lovers ecstasy with fine wine. And these can all be done on Zoom.
Okay.
And the final thing would be kind of like if you would do a vintage fashion show.
Oh, interesting.
So those are the things that I have thought of, and I thought that we could make it happen virtually.
You know, we could actually kind of do this, you know, we could do it as a series even.
Yes.
Um,
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so before we get started, first, Roy, how are, and so the restrictions are easing, um, for doing some kind of an in-person event. Um, so if tentatively you were going to still do it, do you have like an idea of your date that you would want to be aiming for?
No, I don't want to pick a date yet. My best guess is it probably couldn't. The idea of doing it in the spring, in my mind, is still out of the question.
Okay.
And so I think we'd wait till summer.
Well, how about this? Maybe if we could do it as like a spring series, and like once a month have an online class. Like all of these are kind of like a class, like a lecture format.
So Colleen, you're thinking of doing like these series of online things in the spring,
Yeah.
and then still hold out the option to do something in person
Yes.
during the summer.
Right.
Yes.
And we could
Okay.
do, because if we did it, if we, you know, we could do one in March, one in April, and one in May. And then we still have June, hypothetically, as, you know, like it could be like the grand finale. So I was, but that would be 3 of them, because I think it would be kind of hard to do 4 in that fast of a time.
Yeah.
So what do you think about something like that, Amy? Trying to do them as like a series?
What I
develop
think,
one a month.
I have my daughter-in-law just sent me a virtual event, and it's a gala, but
Huh?
it's occurred in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to send each one of you a link, and you
Yeah.
too, Roy. I would love for you to see it, so that that's another possibility.
That's what kind of the one I was going along with, was doing a gala event.
Yes,
And
and
but
it's well done.
okay.
And so I will send each one of you, including Alex and Roy and you, and see what your input is, because if we can go that way, we have a link already that
Right.
we don't have to start from scratch. Although none of these are a problem with me,
Right.
because I stay in connection with all of it, and I'm a member of the International Association of Culinary Professionals.
Ah,
So I have any chef available and that could do an online series.
right.
What do
Well,
you think of that, Roy?
That's good with me. I don't know. We've Alexandria has been making some moves to collect money, just to try to get donors to come up with money. Alex, you want to? You don't have been a week or so since we talked. You want to take yourself off mute and tell me if we've gotten any responses on those prospecting letters yet?
I don't know yet. I'm not the one that checking the mailbox for the
Okay.
that's a Ron Smith. So we
Okay.
need to ask him.
I can
Sure.
ask Mike. Who's the one that checks? It's Mike, right? Or is it Ron?
I think it's a Ron Smith. I'm not sure which one. Ron Smith passed me the mail several times. I assume that was him.
Okay,
Maybe it is Mike.
I'll email him. Ron, here he is. Okay, usually he responds to the Cox. Ron at Cox.
So Alex, the reason I asked that question, if people
Hmm.
make a contribution, should we reward the people even though they weren't expecting anything in return? The way your letter's phrased, should we then tell the people that do contribute in response to this prospecting letter that they could tune in to these online events as kind of free gratis as part of that?
Roy,
Yeah, sure.
may I say something?
Sure.
If we go with the chocolate, what my idea was to have Chow give a box of 4 chocolates and get a bottle of fine wine. And as a sponsor for that, they could send them out, or we could get a place locally in Escondido that they could that would be a pickups place. And they are masters in presentation of the truffles. So, that was one thing that we would do. And if we go with the art, that we could think of something that we can give them, the sponsors, as a touch of the art. And I would, whatever we decide on doing, I can really brainstorm and see what would the accompaniment be.
Okay. So I think that's a really good idea, and I would suggest that maybe bringing Jackie in as a consultant on art.
Yes,
That would be she's a good connection, and
that's right.
fantastic
That would be
artist in and of
great.
herself.
That would be great. I'm
Uh,
thinking like of if we use music to get like the clef, the clef with a note on it,
Oh, that would be cute.
and then attach, have a little box of chocolate with it, or the truffle.
Okay. So I think that's a great idea. I can see your inspiration. I can see why you're so excited about these.
Oh, I have that. This is a passion for me, for
Right.
core, and it is my heart.
Right.
I'm not giving it any portion of it. It is my whole heart.
So here's it just kind of occurred to me. I think that doing this as a series in March, April and May, and then come June, I think that if we can't do an in-person event, then that would probably be the moment to do a gala event.
That's right. Okay.
An online gala. Does that make sense?
That's a good idea. Yes.
I don't think that we should try and have a competing gala with like an actual event, but I think that a series of experiences like would actually, and I think it could be accessible, because then you could do it as like each individual one, or you could go and get the whole package of all 3 events.
Like they do for the Broadway Arts.
Right.
For the Broadway Arts, the series.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
then they would be, we could name that Coors Extravaganza series.
Right. That would be cool. I like this idea. How, Roy, Alexandra, you guys are kind of into this, doing as a, as adding to our fundraising adventures? What do you think?
Yes.
I want the kitten. Give me the kitten. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's,
think it's a great idea.
yeah, it's good with me because, you know, I've always been an advocate of, if we're going to ask for money from people, to give them something back rather than just
That's
asking
right.
for money
That's
straight up.
right.
And I understand these prospecting letters that went out, they are asking for money straight up, and I understand why we have to do that. But if we can give something back in the form of some sort of event, I feel better about asking for money.
Well, that is the number one catch on, Roy, is that you have to give them something in order to get in return the positive outcome.
Right, I agree with that completely, because we already kept all the money from the 2020 Quarter Cuisine and didn't do the event, and all the people that gave money were really gracious about, you know, saying, "Oh, that's fine. We understand the unusual circumstances. Keep the money." But
Okay.
as I said before, I'm uncomfortable trying to do that twice.
Right.
Yes.
Can
So
I say something to really quick? So we again the idea is great. Everything we guys talking about is wonderful. But again, back to the question, like, do we really wanna teach our Rotarians and main put our Rotarians as the main target of our reason, or do we want to bring outside audiences to this? Okay, even if we do the gala, we still need to have comprehensive marketing plan to bring outsiders in. Because I think Rotarians are getting tired at this point, giving money all the time, because it's a club of wallets instead of a club of Rotarians who do things for the community. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's just my kind of feel that we need to bring more people, and to do that, it's gonna be tough because our Rotary Club members do not have a lot of followers on Instagram, a lot of friends over Facebook, maybe some. So we kind of like a little bit crippled on a social media network here. So we need to come up with some serious plan on the marketing if we want to do that. That's my point.
Can we? I agree with you because I'm an octogenarian, and I find it a challenge to you know, I feel as if nothing in modern technology is going to stop me and prevent me from being part of. So, but I do understand the problem. Our only thing is we're dealing with a pandemic, and people are dying from it, being exposed. So, and with this new president, we really don't know when things are going to be opened.
and
And that is scary, and it concerns me because I feel as if our core has been successful since 2003. And my adage is, when things are going well, don't fix it.
right.
So, but
One of
I
the reasons.
realize that we need to do something to create some monies that core in its physical presence produced.
Yes.
So, but I think that we really need to entertain and arrive at what we think. And Roy, you're very good on your input with social media. I get the ideas, but social media is I just graduated from pre-basic. So so I welcome any of your things, and I just think that we need to get on the wagon.
I agree.
And what I will do to you is send each one of you the link for the gala
Okay.
so that we would respect the idea that Roy has given is to, and all of you I hear, of keeping the gala. If we can keep it active via Zoom, it would be a wonderful alternative
I think so
or
too.
a wonderful measure, and the others could be an alternative.
So I'm still not clear the purpose of the gala. Is it meant to be a fundraiser? Is
Pardon,
Yeah.
I don't,
annual
can you,
event that we produce as a thank you to existing donors? So I'm not quite clear on that. Is it goal to raise as much money as we possibly can on it, or what's the goal?
uh, the goal is to create a a, a Zoom or a virtual fundraiser, not replacing the gala, but be like an adjunct to it. I don't think anything will ever replace the gala because it has been a success. But if we have an alternate thing of doing during COVID, uh, you know, we should take it. So, but
I guess
that's
my
up to you. Good, that's up to you.
I guess my question is, who is our audience for this gala? Our Rotary members, or who is it? Who
I
we're
would,
It's
doing it for?
it's beyond our Rotary members. That's why we have gotten from 450 to 600 people attend the physical one.
So where do we get these people? How do we get them to come to our gala?
Well, we reach out to the prior people that have been so gracious in doing donations,
we're also,
and see if they're willing to participate in a virtual event and do the sponsorship, etc.
I think that for marketing purposes in terms, especially because right now, even with, connecting people is the hard part, right?
Yes,
It's one thing to just be like, hey, you
That's
want to go to this party. It's another thing to be like, hey, you want to like put on some clothes and like turn on your computer.
exactly,
um,
exactly.
and so one of the ways I think that would be really good would be to kind of phrase all of this in terms of as a as a connecting, like a reconnecting, like reopening, reimagining, just like I'm the marketing stuff is gonna have to kind of work through my head a bit. But I think that once we put together some, I mean, we have our ideas for the specific ones, and then we can come up with kind of a connection theme for a virtual gala. And then we should tap our grantees and the Downtown Business Association, the Charitable Foundation, every group that we know of. We should ask them. We should create a social media campaign, I think, and an email campaign. I
you
don't.
know, go ahead.
I was
I'm
gonna say
sorry.
I don't know about doing like another hard mail because those are really expensive. Um, to do those letters is not cheap. But we could maybe do like a postcard. So we have our
What?
connections in terms of previous people who come, our sponsors. And then we ask our people who we give money to and our community partners to also share the events. We could tap in
Yeah.
a cafe. Um,
But
but we have to put
yeah,
together.
Colleen, this is Roy.
Uh-huh.
To Alex's point, we need to branch this marketing sales effort out beyond the club.
Yes.
From previous quarter cuisines, I know they've achieved the financial success that they're after, but I've looked at the numbers, and 80% of the money from previous quarter cuisines comes from within Rotary Club members themselves, if not, not only the individual tickets sold, but we have a select group of deep pocket sponsors that cough up a lot of money, and but they're also Rotary members. And so Alex and I have talked that the future of this is trying to find a marketing avenue that brings in money from people outside the Rotary Club. And I think this is the time to think through that sales and marketing effort and try to do that.
So how
Well,
Yeah, I'm 100% behind you on that one. Because if we don't do, this is easy break for us, online event this year. We can use this to expand our base of donors.
Yeah.
Beyond like solid member club. So we need to do that, but we need to have a plan of how we're gonna go beyond that. So that those ideas would be very helpful. I mean, like putting the nice gala together with all your ideas that you have, Amy, it's a big work, but it is kind of clear what to do and how to do it. But how to market it and how to bring outsiders, that's something we need to brainstorm.
may I suggest something? For the businesses and sponsors that we have, I'm thinking of kind of like a tube with the event in of we're planning this, and it would look like a diploma,
uh-huh.
and
So
it would
thank
be
you.
hand delivered to the like to Major Market and all of our previous sponsors. And it would be kind of like a special delivery type of thing.
Right. So we need to get Chuck Ailing in on that part.
Yes.
And so why don't we do this? So we kind of have this as going in our heads. And so let's kind of think about, so let's tap Chuck to see if we can get with the sponsors. And then reconvene next week, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
With an idea on how to, we basically need to come up with a tagline, right?
Yeah, how to execute our ideas.
And so the main goal is to have kind of a community touchstone event, which is what
That's right.
Florida Cuisine is. And the whole point of all of these things is not only to raise money for the club and keep our giving going, but it's also to just make sure that even though in the face of the pandemic, there's a continuity.
That's right.
That we don't
that we
lose.
stay connected.
Yeah, so we still have this touchstone of this annual event put on by the Escondido Rotary Club. And it's mostly, it's going to be mainly a touchstone for our members, but we're going to try and leverage, so to speak, our contacts with our community partners, and our contacts with our grantees, our sponsors, and then see if we can bring in Downtown Business Association and Cafe.
Yes.
But regardless, we have to have something to give them,
Yes.
Like you can't just be like, hey, we email them and just be like, hey, come to this Zoom at 5:00 on Friday night. Like it has to be a package.
Yeah.
So if we spend like kind of a week, I can't, this is Vera's first week back to school again. So of course my life is in transition constantly.
God bless you.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm going to need some time to think it over, but if we could come back at this time next week and come up with a tagline, and that we could base some marketing materials around. And again, I think, tapping into this idea of spring with a main event in June, either in person or online, would be something, if we break it into pieces, then it becomes more accessible. Because part of the hard part of reaching out with a core ticket to the general community is that it's hard to rationalize $100 or $250 date night, even though it's really not that expensive concern like as a date night, but it's hard to get people who aren't Rotarians that message. But if we split it into parts, then it's more accessible, and somebody might be like, hey, that sounds like, I like chocolate, I like wine, like let's do this on Friday night, like even if you're not a Rotarian. And then having it as a series, if you just want to buy pieces of the series or the whole series,
That's right.
then it's more accessible to general public. I mean, it's going to be a trick, but it's still worth a shot, and it'll get the name out there. Does that sound like a good idea? Like, so next week we come up with a way to package this,
Yes,
the
yes.
timeline.
I think, and we can, at that time, I feel as if that the choices, and with that link that I'm going to send you,
Okay.
we will have 5 events that
Okay.
we can choose from.
All
And
right.
I like the idea of a series
Mm-hmm.
because we will, what I'm trying to do is captivate those aficionados in art, music, chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
and also the culinary
Yes,
field.
I think so too. And I think, and then in terms of timing, I think this is kind of a Friday night thing to do. What do you guys think in terms of like what day of the week should these be targeted at?
Friday
I'll have
night.
to answer that
go ahead.
right away, but it's something we
Yeah.
need to think of.
Well, I would like for you to entertain the fact that if we go with the culinary,
Mhm.
Friday night is busy for someone to do a demo
Right, that's true.
in it. That and so it will all be dependent on which choice avenue that we go.
Right. So from here, I'll send Chuck. So Amy, you email us, and maybe,
But-
and I'll forward it to Chuck and ask him to come in to these meetings.
Okay, that would
Once
be
we have
great.
something for him to distribute. He's not
Okay,
so
great.
much into brainstorming, but he is fine with like distributing information.
Oh, good, good.
So
Well, I'm fine. I have maintained, even though we're in Brego, a
Mhm.
very good rapport
Okay.
with the businesses and their owners. So
great.
I think that we're going to make it.
Okay.
It's
let's do this.
going to be whatever we decide.
Mhm.
It's
And-
going to be. It's going to happen, just like the concept of cours de cuisine.
Right. And I also like this idea that that we come up with, you know, a way, if people, for the sponsors in particular, for people who want to do a sponsorship, getting them like an actual physical piece of whatever we're doing for them.
That's right.
That's good.
That's right.
That's going to be really good. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Well, give me a week
Whatever
on it, and then we'll come back.
We can brainstorm what
Okay.
to do after we come upon a decision of which we choose to do.
Okay. So we'll look for your email, Amy.
Okay.
And let's reconvene at 1 o'clock next Tuesday and try and figure out a way to put it into a marketing package.
Great.
And then
I'm real
Again,
delighted
guys,
to meet
guys,
all
I
of
don't mean a pain in the bone, but again, we're talking about public role. We're talking about our relationship, developing our relationship with the sponsors at this point. We want to feel them feel special. So our main focus, I think, should be on getting new sponsors,
okay.
not
Yes.
maintaining it. So that's my point. So to do that, we need to decide who our audience before we put the event together. We need to decide who our potential audience is, what kind of sponsors we like to bring. There is a different categories of people that we can target. We can target low income people who like to party and who like chocolate and wine, and it's special for them. Or we want to target more wealthy categories like boat owners, like nice house owners. Okay.
Mhm.
So we need to decide that, because our event is going to be different. It must be tailored to the specific audience. That's my point.
That's a
So
really
even doing a food and cours de cuisine and chocolate, we have to do depends who we get.
Can
So let's
we,
discuss
oh,
that a
okay.
little bit.
Can we obtain from the Escondido Chamber of Commerce a list of a business directory? And looking at that, we can see, usually they have classified new members of the chamber that you
So
can,
you're saying that we should target local business?
well, like the chamber of, the Chamber of Commerce, they usually, here in Borrego, they have a Chamber of Commerce that has a list of all of the businesses in our town. And I'm
Well,
sure,
Amy, in the regular times, that would be a wonderful idea because businesses the ones who make money and who have money to give. In the COVID, I do not believe Escondida businesses are doing well enough for
oh,
us to
okay.
ask them
Yeah.
donations.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
comment on that as well. I'm not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, but I've gone to a number of Chamber of Commerce mixers and met, people of the Chamber of Commerce. By and large, who I meet there are storefront businesses.
Oh,
Not only
Yeah.
not just retail stores, but the storefront, CPA tax preparer guy and the
oh, okay.
storefront insurance agent, those types of businesses. And I agree with Alex that during this time, they are not going to have the deep pockets to start writing serious
Okay.
checks. Now, what I am an advocate of is going after actual bona fide corporations where $10,000 is not a huge amount of money to
Yes.
them. If you can capture their attention and get them interested in paying that. And so last year I approached about 40 different corporations here in Escondido, but as I've discussed with Alex, I wasn't successful at all. And we sent them a nice letter, a brochure, followed up with multiple phone calls, really targeted them hard and heavy. And we didn't get any money out of any of them. And those were people that should have had serious money. And so we can rethink that, but we have to go after people with serious money. And we can't just go after, storefront people in Escondido. I don't know if you walked, of course you live in Borrego Springs, but I don't know if the other people have walked Grand Avenue lately, but it's not a pretty sight. And so we got to, like the old deal, you got to go where the money is.
How about, Roy, how about if we extended that into Rancho Bernardo area and Poway and draw from those people likewise?
Yeah, we've discussed doing that. There's a hesitancy to do that because there's Rotary clubs in
Oh,
Rancho
that's
Bernardo
right. That's
and
right. So you don't
Poway,
want,
and we
that's right.
feel
So
like
you don't want to step
we're
on
marching
their
into their
feet. Yeah, you
territory
don't want
and
to step on their feet.
yeah, and we're going in their territory and slaughtering their cattle.
Guys, I have an idea. Maybe we should do this. Maybe contact all Rotary clubs of San Diego County, connect people in a Rotary community who are, for example, the maybe we should present our cooking class on boats that one of the Escondida members owns somewhere on a marina, and call it like truffles on sails or something like that. Then we can contact different Rotary clubs and they will not be offended by our intention to get to their people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because it will be something completely different from Rotary action that connects these people. Or, for example, airplane owners, or maybe winery owners. I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be boat owners, but something that will filter wealthy people for us out of all Rotary clubs, and at the same time, they will not feel like we're filtering them by the size of their wallet, but filtering the size of like expensive interests for people, okay? Because wealthy people like attention and they like to show off their wealth, which is understandable.
So Alex, to reach these people, you're thinking like about boat owners. You're thinking about like going down to those Shelter Island and Harbor Island marinas and approaching the marina management or marina owners and see if we can,
No, no, no. I am talking about maybe contact community service department or president of each club and tell them that we put in together an event and we
That's
try
right.
to connect all boat owners in San Diego who are Rotarians and try to maybe do something like a boat parade, and that will generate the crowd of people who are in a boat and into sailing into. Those people are not scraping for food. Those people have money. Okay.
when you say a boat parade, you say boat parade, actually physically the boat owners would go out on the bay and operate their boats.
Exactly. And hang out in one spot, and there's like big collection of boats under Rotary flags with the stuff like that. That's gonna be like, I mean, the magnitude of this event would attract the public, and it's like, and we don't have to pay for it.
No.
Owners have enough money to pay for gas to get in the laguna, or into the
That's
bay.
a good idea. That's a good idea.
So it might take us 3-4 months to put it together if we work really hard. But even if we get 5-6 people from all San Diego Rotarians who own the boats show up in that bay, so we can generate insane amount of people who are just going to be watching this, on a Zoom and in person from the shore. Okay, so I'm talking about creating something that will generate the large amount of audience.
Okay.
Well,
Is
I
that somehow
Yeah.
you think is
Is something is
a
like,
good idea?
so this would be something that we would have later. I think it's a good idea, but like I said, I have to have some time to wrap my head around it. And then for
Yeah.
that, we're gonna need to bring in we're gonna need to get a district list.
Well,
And
I have a friend that belongs to the San Diego Boat Club.
oh, how cool.
Very
So
good.
if we would fly with that idea,
That would be cool.
we could, that concept, I have a contact for.
Okay.
And they likewise are into food. So
Ooh.
we could do something.
Very good.
They're culinarians, and we could do something aboard the ship, or he may have contact to like a 90-foot person that is very wealthy.
Exactly. Very good.
Would be willing to present something like that.
Exactly. Show off his boat and host something like that.
That's
would
right.
be fun and would be an honor for any wealthy guy. They're
That's
bored
right.
now.
That's right.
There's no parties. There's no nothing.
That would be cool.
My son is a fine dining waiter, and he was at a club in Key West, Florida, and one of his clients was very wealthy, and all of those that were there had gorgeous boats, and like 3-tier and everything, and they would go on and have kind of like like what they do is like a parade or something like that San Diego does at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the bartender there and helped make up the menu and serve the people.
That's really cool.
So there's 2 contacts that I could do if you want to pursue that.
Would you be willing to reach out to them over the course of
Oh,
the week
sure.
and get
I
back
have
to
no
us next
problem with
Tuesday?
that.
Okay.
I am not afraid of people and afraid of approaching them. I try to do it in a politically correct way with respect and charisma.
And I'm sure you're very good at it.
Guys, the boat idea is not the only one. I mean, there's a
Well, that's why I
possibilities. We
think
can
that,
we can connect winery owners. We can connect people who have nice houses with the nice
oh, yeah.
patios and gardens. We can do like a garden trip, you know, or garden tour, you know, like some people do, and we can do it pre-recorded or we can do it live stream from different locations. So let's maybe take a week and think about all this stuff. Maybe one of you gonna come up even with a better idea, but I'm just talking about something that will generate crowd and generate the crowd with a sufficient amount of Instagram and Facebook followers and friends
Right.
and money,
Yes.
you know?
So
But
we
do you
have
know-
we have the content, which is the actual like, what are we doing here with like the culinary aspect or the artistic aspect, and then we
do you
have
know
the
who?
setting that
Oh,
we're
I'm sorry.
doing on top
Do
of
you
that.
know who has a gorgeous home? Is a member of ours, George Weir, and I've done classes, and he's up in the area of his Ridge Park in Valley Center, and it's on the top, and it has like a panoramic view.
Oh,
It's gorgeous.
Amy, is that George? Is that Weir of Weir Paving?
Yeah, Weir Asphalt.
Yeah.
George and Cindy Weir. And it used to be owned by an old member, Ruth Mangrum, Ruth and Bob Mangrum. And I've done events that I've done, you know, a culinary class that we had limousine service there. I had a 7-course meal, and the Weirs gave the wines with each course. And they have a gorgeous kitchen.
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's sit on it for a week and meet, as Pauline
Yes.
said, next week at the same time and run all these ideas in a circle one more time, and then decide on what kind
That's
of a crowd we're going to be drawing, and then we're going to start planning the actual
That's right.
event and what's in it.
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll see
Okay.
you guys next week.
Well, this
Yep.
is fun.
It is fun.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you
Okay.
next
Bye.
week.
I look
Thanks,
forward to your
Roy.
emails. Bye, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care, Roy.
All right. Thanks, Amy.